So you're thinking about buying a home. It's one of the biggest, most exciting adventures you can go on. But let's be real, it can also feel like one of the biggest challenges. Well, in the next few minutes, we are going to completely demystify that entire journey for you.
I mean, does the whole idea of buying a home just feel like this giant, complicated puzzle? You are so not alone in feeling that way. It can seem incredibly overwhelming. And honestly, just figuring out where to even begin is half the battle. But what if we could flip that script? Let's take all that stress and turn it into what it should be, a clear, manageable, step-by-step adventure. Seriously, by the end of this, you're going to have a roadmap to navigate the whole thing with confidence.
Okay, first things first, we've got to prepare. This part is all about laying a super solid financial foundation before you even think about looking at houses. Trust me, getting this right makes everything that comes after it so much smoother. And right off the bat, a huge piece of advice is getting an expert on your team. I mean, this is one of the biggest investments you will ever make, right? Having a professional, like a realtor, who's a licensed agent and part of the National Association of Realtors, in your corner from day one is an absolute game changer.
So what does getting financially ready actually mean? Well, it really boils down to these three crucial steps. First, you've got to secure a mortgage pre-approval. That's what tells you your real buying power. Second, define a budget you can actually live with. And third, and this one's huge, you have to factor in all the costs. We're not just talking the down payment, but closing costs, taxes, insurance, the whole shebang.
All right, once your finances are sorted, we get to the really fun part, the hunt for your new home. This is where we take that dream house you have in your head and turn that wish list into something you can actually search for. Now, to keep from getting totally lost in a sea of options, the very first thing to do is get crystal clear on your priorities. You do this by splitting everything into two camps. Your must-haves, these are the non-negotiables, like the number of bedrooms or a specific location. And then your nice-to-haves, which are all the features you'd love but, could live without if you had to. Okay, once you've got that criteria locked in, it's time to get strategic. This means actually going out and exploring neighborhoods, getting a feel for the vibe and what's around. And here's a pro tip. Set up custom alerts on the MLS, that's the multiple listing service, so you see new houses that match your list the second they hit the market. So you've been searching, you've been looking at properties, and then it happens. You find the one. And now you're here, at the decisive moment. It's time to craft a winning offer. Making an offer is way more than just picking a price. A great agent is going to help you structure it so it's compelling enough to catch the seller's eye, but also, and this is so important, includes protections for you, the buyer. It's a real strategic balance. So what are these protections I'm talking about? Well, they're called contingencies. The best way to think of them is as your safety nets. The common ones make your offer dependent on a good home inspection or on your mortgage getting that final green light. They basically give you an out, a way to walk away without penalty if something big and unexpected pops up. Now here's a pretty cool tool your agent might use, the net sheet. It basically breaks down all the numbers for the seller so they can see exactly what they'll walk away with if they accept your offer. And for you, it gives you a super clear picture of your own cash-to-close amount. It's all about making sure there are no financial surprises for anyone. And your offer is accepted. This is a huge milestone. But hold on, we're not quite at the finish line yet. Now we're entering the home stretch, and we have to navigate that critical time between the agreement and actually getting those keys in your hand.
This whole phase is about one thing: due diligence. You're basically making sure the home is exactly what you think it is. So you'll bring in inspectors to uncover any potential issues, which might lead to negotiating repairs. And at the same time, your lender is going to order an appraisal to make sure the home's value is officially what it needs to be for your loan.
After all the inspections, negotiations, and appraisal stuff is done and dusted, you finally arrive at the main event, closing day. This is it. This is the official legal moment you sign a mountain of paperwork and the ownership of that property is officially transferred to you. The finish line is so close you can taste it. You'll do one last walkthrough of the house just to make sure everything's in the condition you agreed on. Then you'll sit down with your agent, review everything, and sign those last papers. And after that, you sign with confidence, you get your keys, and it is finally time to celebrate. And just like that, you're a homeowner. The last chapter of this whole buying process begins, and it's the best one. Welcome home. Now all that's left is to plan the actual move. And to make sure this last step doesn't get chaotic, a simple little checklist is your best friend. Schedule your movers way in advance. Call up the utility companies to get everything transferred into your name for moving day. And then you just get to settle in and finally make that space your own.
So let's just take a quick look back at the whole journey one last time. It all starts with getting pre-approved, then the search, the offer, inspections, and finally, closing and moving in. See? What probably seemed totally overwhelming is actually a pretty clear, manageable path when you just take it one step at a time.
So there you have it, a roadmap to take you from feeling completely overwhelmed to becoming a homeowner. You know, every single journey to a new home is unique, but they all start with that one single step. So the only question left is, what's your first step going to be?